Back in 2009, there was a young man by the name of Blake Griffin, who was one of the best collegiate players the world has ever seen. He averaged 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and wiped out all National Player of the Year awards. Coming into the 2009 NBA draft, he was seen as a piece that could be used as a franchise cornerstone and a possible Hall of Famer for any team that drafted him. And the team that drafted him that year, first overall, was the Los Angeles Clippers. Despite missing the first year due to injury, the second year he came back, he was one of the bright young stars in the league. He averaged 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, and made the All-Star team, which was rare for any rookie to do in the league. And after that year, he was seen as one of the best rookies the NBA has ever seen. He was on his way to being one of the best Clippers, to ever wear the uniform. And he dedicated his career to that franchise and wanted to stay there for as long as he can. But the franchise had a different plan in mind. On January 29th, 2018, they traded him to the Detroit Pistons on the other side of the United States for 2 more players and salary cap relief, basically to get rid of the 5-year, $173 million contract that they gave him. Blake Griffin didn't like that. He felt betrayed that the team that drafted him let him go so easily. And that's what brings to my topic today, which is loyalty and what players bring to the team in the NBA. Another example I want to give is DeMar DeRozan of the Toronto Raptors, who was traded in 2018 to the San Antonio Spurs for Kawhi Leonard. The Raptors wanted a piece that could help them win a championship now, and they thought that their franchise player, DeMar DeRozan, wasn't enough. So they traded him for Kawhi Leonard in order to win now. And it all worked out for them, actually, since they did win in 2019 over the Warriors. And despite Kawhi Leonard leaving the year after, they thought it was worth it. And DeMar DeRozan is still on the San Antonio Spurs, and the Raptors still love him because he dedicated his career to the Raptors, and he didn't ask to leave, he was forced to leave, basically. So that's why the Raptors fans still like DeMar DeRozan. But there are cases where teams who take that kind of gamble, it doesn't work out. Like the Oklahoma City Thunder trading James Harden in 2012 for 3 players and salary cap relief as well. They didn't want to pay James Harden the money he wanted, which was millions and millions of dollars, and they were already at the cap, and if they went over the cap, they were going to have to pay more taxes, and they didn't want that, so they just traded him. And they felt like they could still compete for a championship with Kevin Durant, with Russell Westbrook, and the 3 players they traded for, but it didn't work out for them. Injuries happened, they didn't play great, and them trading James Harden basically hurt them. And because of that failure, it leads me to another point, which is players feeling like they can't win and making the decision for themselves, like Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant lost all those years losing in the playoffs, not winning a championship, he left the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that drafted him in 2007 and who basically had him as a franchise star. He went to the Golden State Warriors instead to win a championship. And people didn't like that. They thought he was a traitor. They called him a snake. And they said, how can you leave us for a team that basically beat you? And one reason he gave was LeBron leaving the Cavaliers in 2010 for the Miami Heat. Basically, both cases, LeBron, Kevin Durant, they were young players, young stars who couldn't win with the team that the organization gave them, and moved to another team, a better situation to help them win. And LeBron's move back in 2010 is basically what started player empowerment. what started what Durant did, which is player empowerment, like I said. Players putting it upon themselves to do what they want, to ask for trades, possibly get shorter contracts so they could leave and keep the team on their heels. And that's what LeBron and Kevin Durant basically did. But there are also cases where the team and the player see eye to eye and it all works out in the end. Examples I want to give are Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. They all spent their entire careers with the team that drafted them and were successful with them. Kobe Bryant won 5 NBA championships with the Lakers because of the team they put around him and because he was loyal to them. Same with Stephen Curry, same with Tim Duncan, same with Dirk Nowitzki. They saw eye to eye and they put players that could help them win, and in exchange for that, the players stayed loyal with their franchise. And that's why fans see those players as fan favorites, and that's why they're arguably the best player that franchise has ever seen. And that's basically the points I want to give on how loyalty in the NBA is seen. There's cases where teams don't show loyalty and they just ship the players out because of business, and because of that, players say that, hey, why don't I make my own destiny? And they basically request trades and get shorter contracts. But there's also cases where both the team and the player basically coexist and the loyalty pays off, and that's why the fans love that player. Thank you.